Hello friends, and welcome to my today's video where I will show you how I mix drums and basically how I mix complete drum kit. Uh, we are about to start, but before we start, please subscribe, like, and share my channel. Please, once again, subscribe to my channel. I would really like to create a community here where we can share our experiences and knowledge. And if I teach you something, I'm very happy. And yeah, this is the purpose of this channel. So once again, please subscribe to my channel. And if you already did, big thank you. And now let's see what we have here. And on the screen we have a complete drum kit which consists of kick in, kick out, snare, tom left, tom floor, which is on the right side. We have hi-hats left and hi-hats right, and then we have also the room microphone, which is a stereo microphone. And all these tracks are being sent into the drum bus, and at the end of our mixing I always send the drum bus into another parallel bus, and then I do a parallel compression, but we are not going to do it now. You can also check my previous videos where I made a video about parallel compression. We are not doing parallel compression today, but yeah, please check the previous videos where I explained that. Maybe for the start, so I already applied the effects, but as you can see, they're all turned off now. So none of the effects are being applied to our tracks. And maybe we can play it and listen instrument by instrument, and let's start with the kick in. So what you can hear now is kick in, which is AKG microphone, and then sorry, this kick in is Super Lux microphone, which is being laid into the kick drum. So it is in the kick drum. It is a plate condenser microphone for just for this purpose, for recording drum kits and drums. So once again, it's a kick-in microphone. It's a Super Lux, and it is being laid into the kick drum itself. Then we can continue. This is our kick out, which is AKG, and which is being mounted on the hole of a kick drum. Then let's continue with the snare drum. It's also AKG microphone, which is being mounted on the snare. Then let's continue. We will continue with toms. So also the whole microphone kit is from AKG. It's a P series, so nothing fancy, but just so you know, it's the whole drum kit is from AKG. And also logically, hi-hat left and hi-hat right. It's also these are the condenser microphones from AKG. So these are high left, high right. And last but not the least, we have a room microphone. It's from Super Lux. It's a probably some middle price class microphone, but it's a stereo, which is good when you are recording the room. Also, I intend to do a review of this microphone, opening and review. But yes, for this, please follow my channel. Yes, now when we went through these microphones, I would like to show you what is my approach when I attempt to mix drums. So maybe first we can do a rough mix, like a rough mix of drums, and then we can hear what is good and what is not. So I always start with the kick drum. So let's start. You can hear quite a lot of bleeding in these drums. So let's start with kick. So let's start with kick. This is kick in. Kick out. AKG kick out. You can hear the difference. Kick in, it's thin. Kick out, it's a lot of thicker and boomier. So I would keep the kick in to be my main kick drum sound, and I would just add a little of this guy like that. Let's continue with the snare. You can hear bleeding on the snare drum. Let's add toms, but for this we have to find the place where toms are playing. Okay, I hope you heard it. Once again, tom left, and I'm not even sure we have tom right in the song, but it's okay. And now we can add highs, high left. You can hear it when I apply it. High right. Like that. Once again, high right. High left. And we still have room microphone. So what happens if I edit too much? Of course, we get too much of a room sound. So let's just apply it a little bit. That should be enough. And please hear what happens if I just... So why is room microphone important? I will try to show you. So if I solo the snare drum, you can hear it's really dry, but sorry, I'm having a little bit of problems with my microphone, but it should be fine now. Okay, so now we have a snare drum, and let's add some room microphone. Can you hear it? Without? When I add room microphone, snare becomes softer and it's not so dry anymore. So once again, the complete drum kit. So what we did now, we have, once you have recorded the whole incomplete drum kit, I always like to go through and listen to it. If you record it with multiple microphones, for example, if you have two microphones on the snare, so snare up, snare down, or if you have two microphones on the kick drum. In this case, we have two microphones in a kick drum. It is good to listen what you recorded, and it is good to think about it and to make a picture how you are going to combine those two to get the best sound. So what we said, first, record it, and second, when you record it, listen to it and get a picture what you want to achieve with these, and are you even happy with the recordings? Okay, and then when you say okay, it's okay, then you can do rough mix, just rough mix of a drums, so you can work with that. So we just did a rough mix. And you can hear something is booming, boom, boom. So these are probably our toms, and also it can be kick. But we will find this out. Okay. And because I already did it, I will just go through with you and I will tell you what I applied to single drum tracks. So let's start with kick in. As you can hear, we have bleeding, and we can hear everything. So first, in a chain, I put a gate. And what happens when I put gate? So let's listen it with a gate. Okay, the bleeding is gone. It is really necessary, and it is a must to, if you have a live drum kit, or if you're just recording live kick, you always have to work with a gate, and you have to put a gate. I prefer to put it as to be the first one in a chain, and from there on, when I eliminate the bleeding from other instruments, then I can work and I can apply other instruments, equalizer and compressors and so on. So very important and a must. So gate must be applied to a kick drum. But of course, if you are recording electronic drums, you don't need kick. So first in a chain is a gate, then I applied equalizer. So let's hear it. Without and with. So I applied REAQ, which I really find to be a great plugin. It's a simple but it does the job. It's really simple, but it's really good, and it does the job. You can add unlimited number of bands. You have all the controls that you need: frequency, gain, and bandwidth. And this is pretty much the point of an equalizer. So I really prefer this one. And yes, it's a native equalizer from a Reaper. So if you are using Reaper, I really uh, suggest you to use this one. Okay, from this we are now here just by applying gate and equalizer. Well, just to tell you this, when I use Reaper EQ, in this case I used it, and I use it just to eliminate the bad frequencies and to apply high cut and low cut. So just to apply filters and to notch out some bad frequencies. And then I used second equalizer, and listen what I did. With, without. You see, without it's a little dark, and with I used this one. It's VEQ3 from check it. It's from Waves. It's from the Waves package, and I use this one just to apply some nice color to this kick drum, because in my opinion I like it to be a little more brighter. So as you can see, I did not apply a high pass filter here because we already applied it in our previous EQ in the chain, which is re-EQ. So I applied this filter at 35 hertz, because there's no sense to apply it lower, because 90% of speakers will not be able to recreate this sound, because they don't go as low as 30 or 25 hertz. And then I used compression with, without. You see, it's not so mild compression, but it's pretty much harsh compression. Then, so we said this is our kick in. So let's listen to our kick out. So we are going to check our kick out drum, which is the AKG. It was mounted on the hole of a kick drum, and it has a much more thicker sound than our previous kick-in microphone. So let's try to see what's happening here. So first you can hear now it is without an effects, and you can hear bleeding, so that's why we have to use gate. And when we use gate, we get this. No bleeding, but still quite fat sound from the microphone. Also, I used Reaper's equalizer for notching out the bad frequencies. For example, let me show you. So, for example, this frequency, you hear? This is really not what we want. That's why I cut it. And also some coloration with Waves VEQ3 mono plugin. You see, we instantly get And for the end of a drum chain, I used compression, and this is quite a hard compression. I did it with a recompressor. Also, this compressor is fantastic from a Reaper, so I suggest you to use it, because Reaper has done some really great things, and I've been using Cubase for a very long time, and with version 10 there were certain bugs, and then I said, okay, I'll try Reaper, and I really find Reaper to be it's really great. So and it also has really great built-in plugins. So I suggest you to try to use as much of these as you can. Let's continue. So now when we have two kicks, do you hear how the kicks sound? So kicks without effects and kicks with effects. It's so much better, right? Let's continue. We should add some snare. I will just disable effects. Okay, let's add some snare. This is our snare without effects. And I started with re-EQ. So just to do low cut, high cut, and notch out bad frequencies. For example, let me show you. So I really don't want this to boom into. You hear? So I will notch it out. Okay, like that. So this is our snare. Just we applied equalizer and low cut, high cut, and notched out some of the bad frequencies. And then I used gate. Can you hear it? What happens when I apply gate? Without and with. And then I do some color with the VEQ3 monochrome waves. You hear it? It's so much brighter. And at the end I compressed it. Also I used Reaper's plugin. You can play with it and find your own ratio and the amount of compression that you like. Just maybe we should all be aware that you can also kill it with a compression, so we don't want that sometimes. Okay, let's continue. Let's see what we have. Then we are okay, so then we have toms. So I will just quickly cycle it here so you can hear toms. So it's first I used equalizer, low cut, high cut, and notched out bad frequencies. Then I applied gate. You hear what happens? No bleeding. So I will just solo that for you. So this is our tom without gate. And so you can hear bleeding from the other microphone, from the other instruments. But when I applied gate, only toms we get. And this is my purpose. Also, I used VEQ3 from waves. What I did, I just added some color, but this depends on every guy who mixes his song, what you like and how you like. And at the end, I added compression. The same I did with the floor tom, but basically we don't even have a floor tom in this song, or in this drum kit jamming. We basically don't have a floor tom. And if I continue, we can okay. Let me just make it narrower. Okay. And now we can continue with hi-hats, highs left. So as I already said, these are condenser AKGs from the P series. Let's check it. So first I used EQ. It's once again it's from REAPER, his native EQ. What I did was low cut. I cut lows all the way to 350-60. I notched out the bad frequency and I cut highs somewhere around 80. Then I just make some color with the VEQ3 from the waves and I compressed it. And then we have the similar procedure on highs right. The same microphone, they are matched pair, so yes, everything is pretty much the same. And at the end I added a room microphone, which I already told you it's a stereo microphone from Superlux. And let's check what I did. I added EQ, low cut at 260. Again, the EQ for coloring it. And compressor, I compressed it, not so harsh like I did a mild compression. And let me tell you that all of these individually are being sent into our drum bus. So let's just let's solo the drum bus. Sorry, I soloed the room microphone, but I should solo the drum bus. So what I used on a drum bus is first I added Kramer. Let's hear it. These are Kramer from Waves. So it's a so I added the Kramer for a little glue, and then I added a distortion, and at the end I found the bad frequencies with an EQ. And now, when we reach this stage, of course we didn't talk about panning yet. So let's go with panning from the. So Usually I wouldn't do it, but let me show you how I pan these. So I will just put all pans to the middle. Now you can hear they're in the middle. So let's start from scratch. So first let's start with kick. Too much, right? So I do a little balance, I blend it in. I do a balance between the two of kick drums. Then I add snare. Toms. So if we have left and if we have right tom, then they should be panned, right? So kick is always in the middle, snare also, toms should be panned. So we can pan them around maybe 40-50 left and right. 40-50 left and right. So you can hear, you can get the stereo picture. You can even make it more wider. That depends on you and your taste. So you can hear how it goes from one side to other side. We achieve that by panning. Then we have hi-hat left and hi-hat right. So hi-hat left and hi-hat right. And I always pan them hard left, hard right. And then we have a room microphone. But there is no need to pan them because the microphone is already panned by itself, because it's a stereo microphone and it collects the room by itself on 2 tracks. So it's already stereo. Okay, so panning, do not forget about panning. So the general rule is kick and snare are always on the kick and snare always in the center, and the rest you can pan. Of course, you can pan toms, and it's a must. You must pan highs, overheads, hard left, hard right. And then you have room microphone. Some people don't record it with room microphone. Some people does, but that depends on you, your preferences, and of course your if you have microphone or no. You cannot record it if you don't have a stereo microphone. But yes, there are ways how to record a room. You can record it with a mono microphone, with a stereo microphone, or with two monos, and then you get a stereo picture. Yes, and this is pretty much it. Now I would usually apply parallel compression. So I would send the drum bus on another drum bus and apply compression to this bus, and then mix them, blend them in. But as I already said, I explained that in another video, which you can find. You can already find that video on my channel. Of course, I hope you found something interesting in this video. I hope I learned you something. This is just how I do it, and it's not a rule. Some people might do it differently, but this is how I do it, and the results are good. What to say? Thank you for being with me once again. Please like and subscribe my channel for more that kind of videos, and please, if you have questions, just ask them in comment. Yes, comment, and I will reply to all your questions and comments. Thank you for being with me, and stay healthy.